A new Netflix docu-series about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest.
Or is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
After the release of the new Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, shocking claims are surfacing, according to the film. Evidence suggests Diddy allegedly offered $1 million to around 40 gang members at an event, all to target Tupac. That rumor alone immediately caught the attention of Las Vegas police, who documented the claims after the announcement was made. In the Las Vegas police notes, 50 Cent's The Reckoning documentary is specifically mentioned, the one where never before heard information was shared about Diddy allegedly putting up the $1 million bounty connected to Tupac's passing. Now insiders are saying charges against Diddy could actually be coming. And this is exactly what 50 Cent has been pushing for. Long before this documentary, 50 was trying to expose Diddy, even posting online that the reason he never liked him was because he believed Diddy had Tupac hit.
I always say the wrong thing. Last time you met me, I said something about Puffy. Yeah! I gotta stop doing that. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me. I said crazy Oh wait, maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac
But here's where it gets even deeper. Las Vegas police weren't starting from scratch. They've already been investigating Diddy for this exact crime. And some of the evidence is looking real concerning. Back on November 18, 1995, Tupac was photographed with Diddy's baby mama, Sarah Chapman. Diddy had called Sarah his dream girl, and once he found out she was with Tupac, he became extremely jealous. On top of that, Tupac's career in the 90s was skyrocketing. He was becoming one of the biggest artists on the planet. Diddy wanted that spotlight for himself. This is what many believe triggered Diddy's first attempt on Tupac, with Tupac himself claiming Diddy was involved.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the book. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
With the first attempt failing, Diddy wasn't done. He spun the block again, and in the Diddy trial, it was announced plain as day. The former cop claimed Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Sue Knight retaliated right after, having Biggie dealt with in return. Diddy allegedly hired Keefe D and his whole crew to take out Tupac, but here's the wild part. Keefe D was interrogated back in the day about Tupac's passing, and he literally claimed they met up with Diddy to lock in the Tupac hit. At this point, you gotta wonder, why did the feds never investigate Diddy further? If you're following this story, stay locked in, because the truth behind hip-hop's biggest mystery might finally be cracking open.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas, which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
With rumors swirling about Diddy being tied to Tupac's passing, the pressure finally pushed him onto the Breakfast Club. And bro, the vibe turned awkward fast. The moment they brought up those Diddy-Tupac rumors, he shut that conversation down instantly, like he didn't even want the air in the room to touch that topic.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you, listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
After all the smoke around Diddy and Tupac's passing, new reports just dropped, and their wild Diddy's name got mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing. And investigators are now circling back with serious questions. Skeffy D, the same guy who allegedly organized the hit after Diddy supposedly put money on it, said straight up, this was Diddy's wish. That's the claim shaking the whole case right now. Even the writer of Tupac's official biography stepped in, saying Pac was never built for the street politics he got dragged into. He said Tupac didn't even know how to use a firearm. He was playing a role, not living that life.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
But when you really dig deeper into the reinvestigation, things flip in a crazy direction because new updates prove Diddy wasn't the only one moving in the shadows. Reports now show someone much closer to Tupac might have played a part as investigators. Reopen the case. New names, new motives, and new hidden alliances start coming to the surface. And the biggest name that suddenly gets dragged back into the spotlight is Suge Knight. Once Suge's name gets mentioned, everything starts adding up. Different light makes you rethink the leaked lyric from Eminem's unreleased 2003 track where I'm straight up said he's holding Suge responsible. For the passing of two of the greatest rappers to ever walk the earth. Eminem even hinted that if Christopher Wallace himself could speak, he would confirm it. And M didn't stop there. He called out Suge being involved in multiple situations tied to Death Row's darkest memento. When you combine Eminem's lyric, the new legal filings, and the reinvestigation pointing toward Suge Knight, it suddenly becomes very possible that Suge and Diddy were quietly working together, and to avoid looking obvious, they pushed the blame towards someone else entirely. Detective Russell Poole long believed Suge arranged Tupac's passing before Pac could leave the label, and then strategically framed the rival Blue Street team to keep investigators confused. That leads to the big question: who was the most famous Blue-affiliated name Suge would try to pin the entire crime on? You don't even need to think long. Everyone quickly lands on Snoop Dogg. He remains one of the most recognizable Blue figures. And his recent podcast confession revealed he was extremely close to the situation. Snoop even revealed that he was supposed to be in the car on the exact night Tupac was targeted, which adds a whole new layer to the mystery surrounding who was meant to take. Although the physical evidence coming out in the Diddy trial sent chills through the entire courtroom, things got even darker when Keith D broke down exactly how Tupac was taken out. He explained that on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas riding with Suge Knight. Moving like two giants in the Gamut, he pulled up to the MGM Grand to catch the Mike Tyson fight, and everything seemed cool until the match ended. That's when they spotted Baby Lane, a known Blue member and rival, standing right there in the lobby. Tupac and Suge didn't hesitate for a second. The moment they locked eyes, the tension exploded, turning into a full-on brawl that set off a chain of events people are still trying to piece together today.
And their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the thing was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security rushed in and broke the whole thing up, but the damage was done. Baby Lane was heated. Tupac and Suge headed back to the hotel to switch fits for the night, but at that same moment, Baby Lane hit up his crew, letting them know Tupac had run up on him inside the MGM Grand. And just so you know, Baby Lane was rolling with the exact same crew as Keefe D, with everyone already aware of the alleged $1 million bounty on Tupac's head. And now, Tupac personally pressing Baby Lane. They felt like this was the moment they'd been waiting for, and Tupac was ready. He and Suge hopped into the black BMW and pulled out into the Vegas night, heading toward a club. But when they hit an intersection, everything changed right there. In the middle of the street, the hit would go down, the moment that would go on to shake hip-hop for decades.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
At first, the feds had no clue who really carried out the hit, but they knew something about Keefe D just wasn't adding up. Investigators could feel he was tied to the situation, but they didn't have the full picture yet. Then fast forward to 2019. Keefe D finally decides to come clean. He breaks the silence, sits down, and details exactly how his crew rolled up on Tupac, laying out the play-by-play of the night everything went down.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
It's possible this was Keefe D's whole strategy to spin the narrative and make it seem like he acted in self-defense, or maybe Tupac really did reach for a firearm in that chaotic moment. Only Keefe D knows the real truth behind what went down. What's even wilder is that Keefe D wasn't the one who actually carried out the hit on Tupac. It was Baby Lane, sitting in that same car, who pulled the trigger and carried out the act. Strangest part is how the police never fully dug into the situation to bring Baby Lane up on charges, because on the very night everything happened, the police had Keefe D in an interrogation room. They clearly knew he was tied to the situation, but they still couldn't piece the entire story together or figure out the full scope of who was responsible.
You said that towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac.
Claims Tupac was reaching for a firearm once they pulled up, but that isn't confirmed.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So, someone from your car...
That's what I
started at Tupac and Suge.
After everything that went down, a lot of people wondered why Baby Lane was never hit with charges for Tupac's passing, but the truth is, he never made it that far. Baby Lane ended up passing in a completely separate street incident just 2 years later, taking whatever answers he had with him. But what really shocked investigators was Keefe D's reaction in the present day. When police finally confronted him again and showed him the weight of what happened, his entire energy shifted. For the first time, Keefe D openly admitted that he regrets everything tied to that night and the role he played in the chain of events that took Tupac away from the world.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he
So Orlando husband started across Dre.
He leaned over on the window, rolled down the window.
And if you're wondering why Baby Lane was never charged, it's because he passed in a separate street incident just 2 years later. But here's where it gets crazy. Police later uncovered Keefe D's real reaction to Tupac's passing in the present day, and he regrets it. The same man who was tied into the whole situation is now showing remorse, leaving fans questioning what really happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Because it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
However, the deeper you dig into these evidence files, the weirder everything starts to get, even with all the claims surrounding Tupac's passing. There are people out here who genuinely believe he might still be alive. What's crazy is that Tupac never passed at the scene that night. Instead, he was rushed to the hospital, and officials claimed he passed days later. But like we mentioned earlier, Tupac was playing a role the whole time. And one officer even revealed that Tupac was actually an industry plant whose job was to stop the escalating beef between the red and blue street teams before it got completely out of control.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and criticize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
After all the wild twists in Tupac's story, things get even crazier when you dig deeper into the evidence files, because even though the world believes Tupac passed, a huge group of people still think he might be alive. Remember, Tupac never passed at the scene. He was rushed to the hospital, and officials claim he passed days later. But that's where the story starts falling apart, like we mentioned before. Tupac was reportedly playing a role. One officer even revealed that Tupac was actually an industry plant brought in to calm the rising tension between the red and blue street crews, and the plan was actually working. Biggie and Tupac were cool, real cool, until Diddy allegedly made that first attempt on Tupac. After that, everything exploded. The street rivalry hit an all-time high. And it only escalated until that night when Tupac was taken out in Vegas. But here's the part that shocks everybody. Suge Knight, the man sitting right beside Tupac in the BMW, straight up believes Tupac is still alive. And the files back this up with something inside. There's an interview from 2010 with a rapper named Trey, one of Tupac's close friends from back in the day. During the interview, everything is normal at first, but once the reporter puts the camera down, he asks Trey about the last time he ever saw Tupac. Keep in mind, this is 14 years after Tupac's supposed passing. But Trey doesn't flinch. He doesn't act confused. He doesn't ask why the question is even being brought up after more than a decade. Instead, he answers calmly, like it's no big deal. Looks at him and says, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
You got some muscle on music track.
A couple weeks after that interview clip went viral, things got even crazy out of nowhere. A mysterious website dropped a video showing someone who looks exactly like Tupac, chillin' in Cubano disguise. No low-profile energy, just Pac, alive and moving around like he never left, and fans lost their minds instantly, because if that footage is real, it changes everything we thought we knew about hip-hop history.
That's Pac, man. The outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
After that clip leaked online, things went crazy. The website suddenly dropped footage that looked exactly like Tupac living down in Cuba, and that's when the whole Tupac is still alive theory explode. Again, but here's the thing. It might not just be a theory anymore, because Suge Knight, the man who was literally sitting next to Tupac the night everything happened, is saying something that changes everything. Suge claims Tupac was alive and perfectly fine at the hospital. In Suge's own words, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking." I don't understand how somebody goes from doing good to suddenly doing bad, and when Suge Knight says anything like that, you can't help but wonder what really happened to Tupac after that night.
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never.
This got the whole world questioning whether Tupac ever truly passed Suge Knight, the man who was literally sitting right beside Pac when everything went down. Keeps saying the same thing in every interview. Suge claims he was visiting Tupac in the hospital constantly, checking on him day after day, and according to him, Pac was recovering just fine. And that's what really has people thinking. When you remember, Tupac was reportedly an industry plant sent in to calm the street tension between the red and blue teams. It makes things even crazier if Pac's role was to stop the beef and things got too dangerous for him. Could the people in charge have pulled him out by faking his passing at the hospital? Suge Knight has never switched up his story. Not once he said Tupac was up, talking, joking, and in good spirits. Suge doesn't add new details, doesn't switch up the narrative. He stays locked in on the fact that Tupac was doing well, and when Someone that close to Pac keeps repeating the same thing for decades. It makes everybody wonder what really went down behind those hospital doors.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after he did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
But things take an even darker turn when Suge Knight's own son steps into the picture. And that's when the entire internet starts losing its mind. A lot of people brushed him off at first, thinking this was just another clout chase. But then he started posting things that were way too bold to ignore back in 2018. Out of nowhere, Suge Knight Jr. jumps on Instagram and claims Tupac is actually alive and living in Malaysia. At first, it sounded crazy until he doubled down though. Next day, he posts another screenshot, the text conversation saying, "You said too much. Time for you to go." That's when things went from weird to straight up dangerous, feeling like someone was watching him. Suge's son went off and started dropping pictures of Tupac photoshopped next to modern celebrities, like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He captioned one post, "He never left us. They'll be after me soon." People didn't know what to believe. Was he trolling? Was he scared? Or did he actually leak something he wasn't supposed to? Because the timing, the messages, the panic, it all felt way too real. And with Suge Knight himself claiming Tupac survived, suddenly the Malaysia theory didn't sound so impossible anymore. So now the big question freezes everyone. Is there even the slightest chance Tupac is still out there today? Or is this all a distraction from what many believe the feds should really be doing, finally digging into Diddy and bringing charges for everything that's been uncovered?